Khan, thank you for talking to FrankWarren.tv. It's the first time we had a chance to chat with you since your victory over Michael Gomez and retaining your Commonwealth belt. Let's talk about the fight and assess the fight. You had quite a while now, obviously, to look back on it. Have you had a time to watch the fight over again and get some thoughts on your performance?
Yeah. I've seen the fight about 4 or 5 times, and I've sat down and thought about what I did right, what I did wrong, what I should have done. And overall, I think I was happy with the performance. I had an opponent there who just kept walking forward, taking shots, and wouldn't take a step back. And he was always in front of me, so I had to do what I had to do. I hit him with some good shots, and he still kept coming forward. He caught me with a shot. I caught up straight away. I knocked him down twice, and I think looking at it, I should have thrown a lot more body shots. And I really thought he was going to throw right hands over top. So my left hand I was focusing on my left hand being up, so I'm going to defend that shot, whereas I forgot about my right hand, so I was getting caught with the left hooks and stuff. So, it made me think, I just need to be myself when I go in the ring. Instead of focusing, I should be doing this more, I should be doing that more, just go in the ring and be normal, be yourself, and do what I do normally. My reflex will get away from shots like that, instead of me thinking about it too much.
You've said you had time to look at it and think about what you've done right and wrong. You've mentioned a couple of things there. When you analyse another, from this fight, in terms of things that you've learnt, when you watch another fighter and you watch their tapes when they come into you and you analyse them, you see what they do and don't do. How much has that fight taught you about going into a ring and watching what an opponent does, so having that in mind, but then still being yourself? There's a little balance there that new professionals really have to learn.
Oh yeah, us professionals have to watch all our opponents' videos and analyse everything and sit down and go through what that person throws, what's his best punch, and what he likes doing. And with Michael Gomez, I went in the fight with thinking with a game plan, but this game plan was just solid. I said I'm only going to do this game plan, nothing else. Yeah. So I went in thinking I'm only going to throw the jab, keep throwing the jabs, and then I didn't think about throwing uppercuts. Yeah. I didn't think about throwing body shots, and they were the 2 punches what won me the fight. I think the right uppercut, the left uppercut, and the left of the body, and they were the shots what knocked him down twice. So next time, I'm going to go in working on everything. I'm not going to work on only one thing. I'm going to have game plan number 2 or game plan number 3. I want it to come natural.
So it's fair to say from this fight you've learned that you still need to be yourself, but then you still need to have an idea of what the opponent may or may not do. So then you go in with 2 things, and like you say, game plan B, C. So in all, it was a great fight to have in terms of your learning curve.
That's right, yeah, and it is a learning curve for me. People might think it was a tough fight for me and I've not learned nothing from it. Michael Gomez was a washed away fighter. I think Michael Gomez was fit, strong, and he was mentally right for this fight. He come in this fight in a very good condition. And he was strong. A lot of people think he's a super featherweight. I think he was strong for a lightweight. His record says it all. He's got more opponents out than fights I've had. But I've got respect for him. I think he's a good fighter, and he's a credit to the sport.
Let's move on. Dean Powell's your temporary trainer at the moment, and he obviously worked with you well on that fight. And you said you were happy with him, and at the moment he is your trainer. But you're going to still look around and see who's out there and see what you want to do. What are your plans in terms of trainers now?
The plan is I'm going to the States for 5-6 days and working with 2-3 different coaches down there. I've got a couple of coaches flying over to England to our gym, train here. I want a coach who I'm going to gel with, who I'm going to adapt with quickly, and I'm not going to be uncomfortable with. No point me getting a coach down here and being uncomfortable. I want to be comfortable with the coach. I want to feel good, and then I want to keep that coach all the way. I want that coach to take me all the way. Dean's a great coach, and I think at the moment we've got Dean. He's still my coach, and for the last fight, I was happy with everything. And he's still on board, but I've always said from day one I wanted a coach from America, and now it's time for me, while I've got time on my hands and I'm still young and still fresh, to go over there and get a coach.
It's going to be your decision, and you're going to take your time to make that decision. But one of the names bandied around is Freddie Roach, the great Freddie Roach almost, and he's going to come over here and speak to you. You've already worked with him a little bit. How much are you looking forward to seeing him and maybe working with him again? Oh,
it'd be brilliant. Freddie's a great coach. I've done a training session with him, and it felt good because he was working on different things I've never worked on before, and he was telling me what to do and shots and how to move away from shots and making it look so easy, but it is effective. Fight. It works. And also with Floyd Mayweather, I want to do a training session Floyd Senior, and Roger. So it'd be nice to work with them all, and then afterwards pick a little thing of little bit of each other, and I can pick some off Freddie Roach, then Roger or Floyd, and then I can put it all in one fight. And before you know it, I'll be happy with one coach, and I'll be with that coach.
Would it be fair to say, Amir, people can maybe look at you from the outset in the public and they say, oh, Amir Khan, he's got the fame, he's got the publicity, he's got the money, and he's got everything going on. But with you, there is a real hungry boxing brain in there, isn't there? There's a hungry young boxer who wants to learn the finer art.
That's right. I've always said, I'm one of them guys. If Floyd Mayweather's the best in the world, I want to be at the same level as him. If Manny Pacquiao's one of the best in the world, I want to be on the same level as him. I'm not going to look at anything below. I'm only going to look at everything. I'm going to look at everything above or as good. And that's the way I go. I'm not. I don't like being second best. I don't like being. Or one of the. I want to be the best in the world. That's just me, and that's the hunger I've got in my mind. And I think the way I'm going at the moment, it's the right way, and that's why I want to go to America. I want a coach from there who's going to bring that bit out of me, the hunger out of me, and who's going to bring out the talent and everything. So when I do go in a fight, and I'm going to be, in top condition, I'm going to have mentally, I'm going to be prepared, physically prepared, and I'm going to have that boxing brain in there as well.
Well, let's look forward to your next fight, 6th of September at the Manchester Evening News Arena here in Manchester, where this press conference is today. How much are you looking forward to, with your boxing fans here in Manchester to see you?
I think it's going to be brilliant, fighting in Manchester. I've always said to Frank, I want to fight in Manchester. He's got a lot of history. Mike Tyson fought in the MEN, Nazim Ahmed, Joe Calzaghe, Ricky Hatton. You've had some big fights here. So for me to fight here as well and be one of the top in the bill with Alex Arthur, he's another great fighter who's fought there before. It's going to be brilliant. I think it's going to be rocking. I think it's going to be a sellout, definitely. A lot of people from Manchester want to see me fight. So I live only down the road. I live about 20 minutes away from Manchester. And I just can't wait for this September 6th.
Thanks, Amir.
Thank you very much.